Did you know the World Cup almost broke Lionel Messi before it finally crowned him a legend? For years, he carried the weight of a nation, failure after failure, heartbreak after heartbreak, until destiny finally smiled. And just when the world thought the GOAT debate was over, Erling Haaland dropped a bombshell that left everyone speechless. We'll explain everything in this video, step by step, don't skip it. What did he say about Messi and Ronaldo that shook the football world? Stay right here because the truth will change how you see football's future forever. What a time to be alive, football fans. Because today, we're diving straight into football royalty and rising thunder. First stop, Lionel Messi, the man who turned dreams into gold, tears into triumph, and silence into song. The Argentine magician calls winning the World Cup, and I quote, the best moment of my career. And can you blame, after years of heartbreaks, near misses, and critics whispering, he'll never do it, Messi did it all. From Maracanã to Lusail, he painted football's biggest canvas with pure genius. The GOAT debate? Oh, it roared that night louder than ever before. But hold on, the new generation isn't watching quietly. Over in Manchester, the goal machine himself, Erling Haaland, has spoken. The Norwegian powerhouse, fresh off a record-breaking season with Man City, plays it cool, too cool, some might say. When asked about Messi and Ronaldo, Haaland didn't fan the flames. Instead, he calmly said, let's not compare. They've been the best for 20 years. How's that for respect, eh? It's like watching the next king walk into the throne room and bow first. But make no mistake, this Viking doesn't kneel for long. With goals flying in from every angle, Haaland's making sure the world knows he's next in line. And isn't that the beauty of football? Legends rise, icons retire, and new heroes charge forward with fire in their boots. Messi may have his World Cup, Ronaldo his legacy, and now Haaland his destiny. The stage is set, the past meets the future, and we the fans are living in the golden age of the game. So buckle up, folks, because the goats may graze, but the wolves are coming. Crowd roars, beat drop, stay tuned, hit that like button, and let's keep the football fire burning, because this is where legends never rest. Lionel Messi calling the World Cup win the best moment of his career is more than just a statement. It's a declaration from a man who has spent his entire life chasing perfection on the grandest stage. For 2 decades, Messi has been the heartbeat of football, enchanting fans with his effortless dribbles, impossible goals, and match-winning magic. Yet for years, one shadow followed him everywhere, the World Cup. It was the missing piece of an otherwise flawless career, the one trophy that critics used to question his greatness. In 2014, when Argentina came heartbreakingly close, only to lose to Germany in the final, Messi stood on that pitch with tears in his eyes, the golden ball in his hand, but the golden trophy just out of reach. That image became a symbol of unfinished business, a promise that one day he would return to complete his story. Fast forward to Qatar 2022, and that promise was fulfilled in the most dramatic way possible. Messi, at 35, wasn't supposed to dominate anymore, yet he did. Game after game, he played with the passion of a rookie and the composure of a king. Every touch carried purpose, every goal carried weight, and every assist screamed legacy. Against Croatia, he delivered a masterclass. Against the Netherlands, he showed nerves of steel. And in the final against France, he stood tall in one of the greatest games in World Cup history. When Mbappé fought back with his hat-trick, Messi didn't falter. When the match went to penalties, the entire world held its breath, and the little magician delivered once again. As the final whistle blew and Argentina were crowned world champions, the football universe erupted. The man who had given everything to the game had finally received its ultimate reward. Messi's tears of joy that night weren't just about victory, they were about redemption, about the weight of expectation finally lifted. His smile, his embrace with family, and the image of him lifting the World Cup in front of a sea of blue and white will forever live in football's collective memory. For Messi, this wasn't just another trophy. It was the culmination of years of sacrifice, pain, and relentless pursuit. He had conquered everything at club level, Champions Leagues, La Liga titles, Ballon d'Ors, but the World Cup was personal. It was about identity, about legacy, about cementing his place, not just in football history, but in sporting immortality. Fans around the world, even those who once doubted him, watched in awe as he finally became what many already believed him to be the greatest of all time. Calling it the best moment wasn't just nostalgia talking, it was truth from a man who has lived the highs and lows of the beautiful game. After all, no amount of money, records or awards can match the feeling of leading your nation to glory, of hearing your people sing your name in unity, of knowing that your story has come full circle on the world's biggest stage. Years of struggle finally crowned with glory. That phrase captures the very essence of Lionel Messi's footballing journey. From a young boy in Rosario, Argentina, diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency and dreaming beyond his size, to becoming the world's most celebrated footballer, his path has never been smooth. Every chapter of his story is defined by a relentless drive to overcome obstacles, both physical and emotional. When he left Argentina as a teenager to join Barcelona, it wasn't just a career move, it was a leap of faith. Leaving his family behind, chasing a dream across an ocean, he carried the hopes of an entire generation on his small shoulders. At Barcelona, he quickly became a phenomenon, but greatness is never without pressure. For years, Messi won everything at the club level. Champions Leagues, league titles, individual awards that stacked higher than most teams' trophy cabinets. Yet, the World Cup remained elusive. Every international tournament brought new heartbreak. The 2007 Copa America final loss, the 2010 World Cup disappointment, the painful 2011 Copa America exit on home soil, and the haunting memory of the 2014 World Cup final where Argentina came within inches of glory. All of these moments left deep scars. Each loss brought new critics, new doubts, and fresh comparisons to Diego Maradona, the man who had carried Argentina to the top decades earlier. The pressure became unbearable at times. After losing back-to-back Copa America finals in 2015 and 2016, Messi even announced his retirement from international football. The image of him walking off the pitch in tears, shoulders slumped, became one of football's most heartbreaking visuals. But true champions don't stay down for long. The roar of the fans, the pleas of his teammates, and his own burning desire to rewrite history pulled him back. He returned stronger, hungrier, and more determined than ever. When the Copa America finally came in 2021, it was the first sign that the tide was turning. That night in the Maracanã, Messi's joy was raw, emotional, and human. But there was still one mountain left to climb. The World Cup in Qatar 2022 became his last dance, his final shot at destiny. Argentina didn't start perfectly. They stumbled in their opening game against Saudi Arabia, shocking the world. But that defeat lit a fire within the squad, and Messi led the resurgence like a general rallying his troops. Every goal, every pass, every celebration carried the weight of past failures being washed away. By the time the final arrived, Messi was no longer playing to silence critics. He was playing for pure love of the game, for his people, for the years of sacrifice that had brought him here. When he lifted that golden trophy under the Lucelle lights, it wasn't just a victory, it was closure. The little boy from Rosario, once doubted, once heartbroken, once told he was too small to conquer the world, had done it. Years of struggle had finally, gloriously been crowned with Destiny Erling Haaland's praise for Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, while avoiding comparisons speaks volumes about his mindset, maturity, and respect for the game's history. In a football world that thrives on debate, statistics, and endless GOAT discussions, Haaland's calm and humble response stood out like a refreshing breeze. Here's a player who has shattered records, bulldozed defences, and made goal scoring look as simple as breathing. Yet when asked to compare himself to two of football's greatest icons, he chose respect over rivalry. That decision says as much about his character as his ability on the pitch. Haaland's rise to stardom has been meteoric. From his early days in Norway to making waves at Red Bull Salzburg, dominating at Borussia Dortmund, and then conquering the Premier League with Manchester City, he's shown that he's not just another talented forward, he's a phenomenon. But what makes him truly remarkable is his awareness of where he stands in football's grand timeline. When he speaks of Messi and Ronaldo, he does so not as a competitor trying to outshine them, but as a student acknowledging the masters who defined an era. When Haaland said they've been the best for 20 years, there's no need to compare. It wasn't a line of modesty, it was a statement of wisdom. He understands that what Messi and Ronaldo achieved isn't just about numbers, it's about consistency, longevity, and rewriting football history year after year. Haaland, at just 24, already carries the weight of massive expectations, with every goal he scores adding to the narrative that he might one day take the throne. But instead of claiming the crown early, he's choosing to earn it the right way through time, performance, and respect. His humility is even more striking when contrasted with the modern football culture that often thrives on ego and rivalry. Social media debates pit stars against each other daily, but Haaland's approach cuts through the noise. It's not about being the next Messi or the next Ronaldo for him. It's about being the first Haaland. His admiration for them reflects an understanding that greatness isn't just built on goals, it's built on attitude, endurance, and how you carry yourself when the spotlight is brightest. And make no mistake, Haaland has all the ingredients to create his own legacy. His strength, precision, and clinical finishing are already redefining what it means to be a striker in modern football. Yet, behind every thundering strike and every celebration, there's a player who respects the path carved by those who came before him. Messi's artistry and Ronaldo's relentless drive have inspired millions, and Haaland is one of them. By acknowledging their greatness without comparison, Haaland reminds the world that football's story isn't about replacing legends, it's about continuing their legacy in new ways. It's about evolution, not competition, and that understanding is what makes his statement powerful. Respect between generations past meets future is one of the most beautiful and timeless stories in football. It's a cycle that keeps the game alive, bridging eras, uniting fans, and passing down the flame from one legend to the next. The connection between Messi, Ronaldo, and players like Erling Haaland is more than just admiration. It's a reflection of how greatness inspires greatness. Every generation produces heroes who redefine the game, and the next generation rises not to overshadow them but to build upon the foundation they left behind. Football, at its core, is a story of legacy, one that constantly evolves, yet never forgets its roots. When Messi and Ronaldo first rose to prominence, they set standards so high that the world began to measure football through their brilliance. Their rivalry wasn't just about numbers or trophies, it was about style, mentality, and unmatched longevity. For over 15 years, they pushed each other to new heights, setting a precedent for what it means to be elite. Now, with the arrival of players like Haaland, Mbappé, and others, we're witnessing the natural continuation of that legacy, but with a new flavour, a new energy, and a modern edge. The respect shown by these new stars toward their predecessors isn't forced. It's genuine acknowledgement that before them came the architects of football's modern era. Haaland's calm refusal to engage in comparisons with Messi and Ronaldo perfectly encapsulates that respect. It shows that the bridge between generations isn't made of rivalry but of reverence. Even though he's breaking records at a pace that recalls the prime years of those legends, Haaland recognises that history cannot be erased, it must be honoured. His humility reminds us that greatness doesn't exist in isolation, it's connected by invisible threads of inspiration stretching across decades. The way Messi once looked up to Maradona, or how Ronaldo idolised the Brazilian greats, is the same way today's stars view Messi and Ronaldo. It's a beautiful lineage that binds football's past, present and future into one continuous heartbeat. The mutual respect also goes both ways. Messi and Ronaldo, though competitors for most of their careers, have often praised young talents for their potential and impact. They understand the importance of evolution, the need for new icons to carry the sport forward. The football world thrives when generations collide with admiration instead of hostility. Every goal scored by a young star under Messi's gaze, or every record broken in Ronaldo's era, adds another layer to the sport's living history. Fans too play a role in this generational bridge. While debates will always rage about who's the best, the true beauty lies in witnessing the torch being passed with dignity. The veterans inspire, the youngsters aspire, and together they create a dynamic that keeps football endlessly fascinating. It's not about replacing legends, it's about respecting the cycle where the past meets the future. And the game continues to evolve while staying rooted in the legacy of those who came before. The GOAT's legacy inspiring the next wave of football greatness is one of the most defining features of the modern era. Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo didn't just dominate the game, they reshaped what it means to be a professional athlete, setting standards that have become the blueprint for generations to come. Their relentless pursuit of excellence, their discipline, and their ability to deliver season after season have left a mark so deep that every young player growing up today measures themselves against their example. Whether it's Messi's artistry or Ronaldo's machine-like determination, their impact goes far beyond statistics. It's cultural, emotional, and deeply motivational. For nearly 2 decades, the two icons ruled world football with an intensity never seen before. Every season brought new records, new rivalries, and new memories. They didn't just play football, they lived it. Their rivalry created a golden age that inspired millions of kids worldwide to dream of reaching similar heights. You can see their influence in the way young players train, celebrate, and carry themselves on and off the pitch. Haaland's obsession with goals, Mbappe's hunger for big moments, and the flair of countless young attackers across Europe all carry traces of the Messi Ronaldo effect. They grew up watching those two redefine limits, and now they're trying to create their own. Messi inspired a generation through magic, the effortless dribbles, the vision, the calm intelligence that made football look poetic. He taught the world that genius doesn't always need words, sometimes it speaks through the ball. For players like Julian Alvarez, Pedri, or even Neymar in his earlier days, Messi wasn't just a footballer, he was a mentor from afar, an artist showing what creativity looks like under pressure. Ronaldo, on the other hand, inspired through work ethic. His story of self-made greatness, from humble beginnings to global superstardom, showed that talent without discipline is incomplete. His training routines, diet, and mental toughness became benchmarks for the modern athlete. Players like Haaland, Vinicius Jr., and even young midfielders around the world have absorbed that mentality that success is not given, it's earned. The beauty of their legacy lies in how different yet complementary their lessons are. Messi's elegance and Ronaldo's power represent two sides of the same coin, passion and perseverance. Together, they've created a universal playbook for success that transcends borders and generations. Every new prodigy emerging today stands on their shoulders, carrying fragments of their influence into new eras. Football academies now train with the Messi Ronaldo model in mind, technique refined to perfection, fitness maintained like science, and mentality built for longevity. The next wave of stars doesn't want to imitate them. They want to honour them by evolving the game further. That's the real sign of legacy. When your achievements become the standard, others strive to surpass. The GOATs may eventually step off the field, but their impact will continue through every goal, every assist, and every young player who dares to dream as big as they did. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe.